is presented by Miller Lite.
Let's get blitz. Eagles, Steelers defensive battle. Correll Buckhalter, the touchdown pass from Donovan McNabb. He was special. Eagles defense even more special. Sacking Ben Roethlisberger 8 times in this game. Eagles win it 15-6, both teams 2-1. Jacksonville, Indianapolis came down to this. Josh Scobie, 51 yards out, 7 seconds to play.
Goal!
Good. Jacksonville, first win of the season. Both teams now 1-2 on the year. Colts 0-2 at home this season. Also came down to a field goal between the Saints and the Broncos. But Martin Gramatica can't make him one of 2 crucial misses for that field goal kicker, as the Broncos now 3-0 on the season. Hey, that's how we roll into another edition of the Blitz. Second hour for you as we look into week number 3 of the NFL season. Mike Hill hanging out with Kadri Ismail. Jeremy Green and Jonathan Coachman will join us in just a bit. Hey, we like to get interactive on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Where do we go?
We go to espn.com.
And we search the Blitz. You don't click anything. You
don't search it.
The Blitz, yeah. And if you want to put your feedback and your reaction and analysis, you want to talk about how good we look here, send that in too as well. Hey, you know what? The Dolphins can talk about how good they look today, because Joey Porter talked the talk
and walked the walk.
And you know what? And the Dolphins
and kicked the boot.
Did their thing too. Look at Ronnie Brown lining up behind center in the shotgun position. He did that 3 times today.
Got to be unconventional.
He actually ran the football 4 times and had 4 touchdowns running the football. And look, he even threw them.
Left-handed.
Left-handed. Is he left-handed?
Left-handed.
Oh, it looks good left-handed. Maybe he's ambidextrous or amphibious or whatever somebody. I know it's ambidextrous. I'm just playing. Browns' 5th overall touchdown of the game right here, as, boy, they got it together. I'm talking about Miami. A team that had won once in his last 21 games. This is why I'm a Patriots team that had a 21-game regular season winning streak coming in. And Miami sending the folks home early in New England, 38-13.
Shocking.
My man Jeremy Green came in, he said, watching this game. What'd you say, Jeremy?
It just blew his mind.
It blew his mind.
All kind of information of what he knew about football.
Everything he thought he knew about football.
Amnesia now.
Went out the window.
Nothing.
38-13. Who would have thought this? Joey Porter thought it. Joey Porter had 3 sacks on the day as well. They got the job done. So the Dolphins now 1-2 on the season. Remember, they only won once all of last season. Here's the boot.
It wasn't really about me doing what I said I was going to do. I just spoke the facts. You know what I mean? I said the guy's no Tom Brady. And, I mean, he came out there and we proved that today.
Did everything a lot better than we did. Outplayed us, outcoached us. They certainly dominated on offense and defense. I thought we were competitive in the kicking game, but that was about it, not on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. So, they obviously deserved to win. They were the better team. Give them credit. And we got a lot of work to do. I know we're better than that.
Wow, take a look at this. Most consecutive games won in regular season. Of course, the Patriots had that record, beating their own record, but that has now been snapped. In fact, the last time the Patriots lost in the regular season, guess who beat them? It was the Miami Dolphins back in the day. And the last quarterback to actually beat them in New England?
Who was that?
Chad Pennington. When he was with the Jets.
That's right.
Chad Pennington, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins right now. And you heard Bill Belichick even say it, hey, we got outplayed. We got out-coached. When's the last time you saw a Bill Belichick team get out-coached?
It's shocking because normally you would see a Belichick team when a team throws a wrinkle in there in terms of what an offensive formation or a play that they might have beaten the Patriots defense with. Dean Pease goes to the sideline. You see Belichick come over to the side, talks to all the guys, makes the adjustment, goes out there on the field. And if that team decides to do that play again or that formation again, yeah, we got something for you. I am shocked that they did not make an adjustment, that they were still caught off guard by the Ronnie Brown formation and what Ronnie Brown was able to do. Good job for the Miami Dolphins for preparing the way they prepared. But wow, kind of just confusing.
Break down this formation for us.
It's just a direct snap to Ronnie Brown. Obviously, the defense is accustomed to see Chad Pennington under center. Then when he splits out wide and you see Ronnie Brown under center, now you don't know where it's going. You have a little motion, which now Ronnie is faking that. Looks like a little wing T formation, if you will. And now Ronnie Brown is just reading his keys, and it's like a regular running play right up the middle. Now he's just reading his blockers, so it sets it up for them. A little misdirection makes 1 or 2 guys move outside the box because you got to respect the fake handoff. And now Ronnie Brown's off to the races.
This is something that we saw in college with the Arkansas Razorbacks with Darren McFadden, who was lined up in the quarterback position, basically doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, are you concerned or confused or befuddled that the Patriots couldn't adjust to something like that and stop it?
I am befuddled that Dean Pease and Belichick weren't able to make the proper adjustments in this game. However, I will say this. Once it's exposed in the NFL, I assure you there are going to be many people looking at this film, breaking down what went on, and I promise you there will be some adjustments being made to counteract this. However, for now, we're looking at a team that usually, and this is the story, that usually is renowned for its in-game adjustments right there. You're never going to see that play again. And we're seeing them get beat down by the play. Not once, not twice, 3 times. 4, including a pass.
Exactly. They were in that formation 4 or 5 times, and the Patriots could not stop it. We're going to 2 guys that cannot be stopped themselves. I'm talking about Jeremy Green and Jonathan Coachman.
You're absolutely right. What a long day this had, Jeremy Green. Coming over from ESPN Radio. And Jeremy, first of all, before we hear from a couple of the Patriots, as Chris Berman would say, what? What happened? I mean, a 21-game winning streak, 12-game home streak snapped. It had to come to an end at some point.
Right.
But this way?
Well, it's surprising the way it happened, just because, as you pointed out, they were out-coached. And as Mike pointed, they were just out-coached in this football game. Maybe one time Ronnie Brown from that formation can make you look bad if you're the New England defense. But to do it 3 times for 3 touchdowns and then throw a touchdown pass off the same formation, you just don't see that from a Bill Belichick coached football team. They were unprepared, maybe looking forward to the bye week. They had a great defensive performance last week. Looked like the New England Patriots got a little high on the hog in this off week.
Yeah, and to lose by 25, it'd be foolish to blame just the quarterback, Matt Castle,
Right.
but certainly he didn't help the situation.
No, he didn't, Coach. But again, they didn't have the ball very often offensively because they were able to control the football on the ground with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. I mean, Matt Castle's numbers looked very similar to what they looked like last week, even though they weren't able to get the ball vertical in this game. It was the running game with Ricky Williams, with Ronnie Brown, that were allowed Chad Pennington to have a phenomenal game. They started dropping Rodney Harrison down in the box. That opened up the passing game. They had the New England offense reeling this entire game. So how about Samson Salia at center, Justin Smiley, and Jake Long dominating Richard Seymour, Vince Wilfork, and Ty Warren in this football game.
And maybe Joey Porter a little prophetic.
3 sacks.
All right, well, let's hear what Matt Castle had to say after the game.
I've said this before, it's from one week to the next in the NFL. A lot of things can change, you know, and they played well today and they played better than us today, and that's sometimes how it goes. And you wish that you could go out there and score a bunch of points and win every week, and it sometimes just doesn't happen.
I don't think we definitely don't live off the past, and you know, this is a new season, and for this being our first loss of the season, it definitely hurts. You know, what makes matters worse, it was in the division, and so that's really painful when you know, they really came and handed it to us in our house today, and you know, as Coach said, we still got a lot of work to do.
Offense is about being on the same page. It's about communication. You can have the greatest players in the world, the greatest schemes in the world, but if you don't communicate and if you're not on the same page, things just don't happen right. It's different than defensive football. So, you know, today we took a step in the right direction.
Randy Moss hasn't been happy the last couple of weeks, and certainly after today, he's not getting the touches.
No, he's not getting the touches. You thought this would be a week where they would be able to open up the offense, maybe get a little bit more vertical with Randy Moss. It just never happened, especially after they fell behind 21-6. You thought maybe Randy Moss might be able to take this game over. They just didn't get enough touches offensively. They've got to find a way in the bye week to get Randy Moss. I don't care if it's wide receiver screens. We saw one to Santana Moss for a touchdown. Randy Moss has to be involved in this offense if they're going to turn things around in New England right now, offensively at least.
All right, Jay, more from you in just a little bit. Mike Q, back to you guys.
All right, guys, Ronnie Brown becomes just the second player in NFL history with 4 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown in a single game, joining Patty Driscoll back in 1923 of the Chicago Cardinals, Q's old teammate back in the day. Yeah, that's your boy. Meanwhile, the Giants are off to a 3-0 start for the first time since 1999 when they went to the Super Bowl. The other time, of course, I know they went to the Super Bowl last year.
They got beat by who?
Yeah, I know, but we're not going to talk about that.
2000.
Hey, look at Eli Manning leading his team down the field with them down and coming back and finding the big boss, Kevin Boss, for the touchdown. Giants up 23-20. Since he would drive going to overtime, and tie the game up. But in the overtime, Eli Manning finds
Amani, well-dressed. I understand where the sideline is. Come up with big plays. Tumor.
Man, his mama gave him a lot of names. Boy.
Yes. Baller.
That's all on his birth certificate?
That's all, and it just sums it up by saying baller.
He's a baller. John Carney's an old baller, but he's still good. And so are the Giants.
Yes.
Because that field goal was good in overtime. And Eli Manning leading his team down the field as the Giants get the Bengals a heartbreak. You got to give the Bengals some credit. They came to play today.
They came to play, and I was impressed by the way they held it together because it didn't look pretty in the beginning of the game. But, yes, they made a game of it.
All right, so the Bengals should say 0-3. The Giants are now 3-0, and here's what they were saying afterwards.
Had that sense that here's a team that was averaging over, well, they were 10th in the league in ranking offensively and hadn't really gotten themselves on track. And we saw them get pretty much on track today. But they also were very good on defense today. And so we had our hands full, and we found a way to win. Don't give me the flat stuff. We came out. It was a tough competitive game. We found a way to win the game. And we didn't execute as well as we've been. But you got to give them a little credit for that, too. They played well. They played hard.
So once again, the Giants off to a 3-0 start for the first time since 1999, and they get the job done because, you know what, they were down 4 points in this game, late in this game. Eli Manning got the ball back. Eli Manning, when he has the ball in his hands late in the ball game, you just have confidence in him. Why does he have this much confidence that he can get the job done now? Well,
if you go back to last year's Super Bowl, I think that will give you any great amount of confidence to carry over into the regular season. And again, we're talking about Eli Manning, just being on the same page with his wide receivers, and at the same time, you're also seeing the offensive line, that veteran group, giving him a lot of protection, allows him to scan the field, and he's just being very accurate right now in terms of finding the open guy and the guys down the field, like Amani Toomer, making plays for him.
Giants fifth defending Super Bowl champs to start off 3-0. The Cincinnati Bengals 0-3 for the first time since 2003. We have just started to scratch the surface on what we call here the Blitz. We had a key battle in the Keystone State, and it became a key defensive battle, and that's coming up next.
Remote deep ball. T.O. in the clear. Got it. T.O. 72 yards. Only Jerry Rice has caught more touchdown passes in National Football League history.
That's blocked. Wells Thompson came barreling through. New England keeps it. Long shot. They're up to it. 2-0 New England.
Ibar 2 for 2 and make him 3 for 3 unless the catch is made. Ellsbury makes the catch and steals a hit from Willie Ibar. Jacoby Ellsbury, who has made great.
Felix Jones, the return. Felix Jones.